course, man.
We were just chatting about how podcasts evolve and how things change. And I remember interviewing you over, what is it, Riverside, I guess.
Riverside or Zoom, one of them.
One of them.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's so weird, man, how you can go from being so grateful to have a way to connect with people, and it just makes your life simple. And then within like no time at all, you're so dissatisfied.
Yeah.
On Riverside, you seem like a normal person. You can't tell somebody's 7 feet tall.
Yeah, in reality, I'm a little scared, yeah.
What a pleasure it is to meet you in person. I know last time we spoke, what was it, Chuck, 2 years ago?
I believe so, yeah.
I had just seen you in Florida at the Patriot Awards.
Yep, I was there.
You were there, and your story, I mean, I don't know who I was sitting next to my right or to my left, but they were both weeping.
Oh, man. That means a lot.
Well, it meant a lot to the people in the audience. And then when I spoke to you, I remember saying to you, when's the book, man?
Right.
You've got to sit down. I know you're busy saving the world and, you know, making free throws and whatnot, but you've got to get all this down. So 2 years later, you took my advice. You've written a book. It's called In the Name of Freedom. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Finally, I mean, this was my dream, but for like you said, it's been 2 years now. And for the last 2 years, I've been trying to get my family out of Turkey.
Yeah.
So my plate was so full, and unfortunately, we failed every time. I don't want to say I'm like moving on or giving up, but then I'm like, you know, I just gotta keep myself busy, and then just started to write the book.
Well, I think maybe for the benefit of the listener, I ought to ask you just to give me a thumbnail of what we talked about in the past and what brought you to this point, because it's a lot. Your family, man. It's okay. Make it simple for people to understand. What in the world led you to the MBA and then out of the MBA and finally to here?
I think, you know, the people, you know, to understand better, I want to like tell you a little bit about my childhood. You know, growing up in Turkey, it was a very difficult childhood. If you are a politician in Turkey and if you want to be elected again, you do a couple things. You attack America, you attack Christians, and you attack Jewish people. And unfortunately, the base is so uneducated. They're like, wow, look at our leader. He's standing tall against America, tall against the West, tall against the Jewish people. Let's vote for him. So that was the case when I was growing up. I remember I was 9 years old. I went downstairs to play with my friends. And I remember my friends, who were not even teenagers, they were burning American flags. They were breaking crosses. And I remember like asking one of my friends, like guys, like, what are you doing? They said, well, we should hate America. We should hate Christians. They're devil. They're evil people.
Is this in the 80s? Mid-80s? 90s?
I was born in 1992. So I'm talking about like
for him.
2000.
Delightful. You were born in 92.
Yeah. So I'm talking about 2000s. I'm like, what are you guys doing? They said, well, we should hate America. We should hate the Christians. We should hate the West. And I remember one of my friends, which was my best friend, he gave me a flag to burn it. He gave me an American flag. He gave me a lighter, and he said, burn it. I looked down. I'm like, this is not a right thing to do. I threw the flag down. I ran upstairs to my mom. I was like, Mom, my friends are telling me to hate Americans, hate Christians, hate Jewish people. Like, what do I do? My mom said, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but do not hate anyone before you meet him. So that day, I give a promise to my mom. I promise I'm not going to hate anyone before I meet him. This doesn't happen in some areas happen in Turkey, but in the Middle East. So in schools, front of classes, you have an American flag and you have an Israeli flag. And if you don't step on those flags, you are not allowed to attend the class.
You don't step on them.
Yep, you have to step on them.
You walk into the classroom and you literally tread on the
And
Israeli
if you
flag and the
don't,
American flag.
And if you don't, you will get bullied rest of your school year by your teachers, by your classmates. So the environment I was growing up in was that toxic. You know, finally, my dad said we have to move to West. We have to move to Istanbul. And when we moved to Istanbul, obviously things were a little better, but it was still toxic.
I'm sorry, your hometown was what?
It's a city called Van, V-A-N. It's like the very east side of Turkey. people were not really that educated compared to Istanbul or Ankara, the capital. And then when I moved to Istanbul, things got a little bit better. But then, my dad was like, this is enough. You are going to America. I even remember asking my dad, like, Dad, you really want me to go to Devil's Nest? He's like, it's amazing because he said, go ahead and see it yourself. I said, okay.
What'd your dad do for a living?
He was, before he got fired and before they thrown him in jail, he was like one of the biggest scientists in Turkey. And my mom was a very successful nurse. So they were very well educated compared to like other families.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm 17 years old. I took a chance, got on a flight. I was about to land in New York for the first time ever. And I remember like when I was flying, I saw the Statue of Liberty. I'm like, man, this is so crazy because like I've been seeing that statue in movies and now I'm like flying over it.
Was your association though, I mean, growing up the way you did with that level of, deliberate, maybe indoctrination is too strong a word, but certainly an ethos. Did you associate liberty with that statue? What did liberty even mean to
Nothing.
you at that point?
That meant nothing because like growing up, we really didn't have like much freedom or liberty. And everything was controlled by the governments, all the media outlets, newspaper. I don't want to say all of them, but like many of them was controlled by the governments. And when Erdogan took off, obviously it became the worst in probably Turkish history. But pretty much everything was controlled by the government.
Was Erdogan elected in what you would think of as a democratic election?
Well, in the beginning, yes. And he actually, like, when I have a conversation with, like, people like in the Obama administration, the Biden administration, the Trump administration, they said, well, till 2012, he looked like he was going to carry Turkey to a better and democratic country.
Right.
He was keep talking about the Western values and American values. And then once the corruption happened and he got caught back in 2013, everything changed.
And he was caught exactly doing what?
The corruption scandal.
Yeah.
He was stealing from people, and him and his family members were involved in it, and the police caught him. And then after that, that he was just putting innocent people in jail.
And yet he was still elected?
Yeah.
In democratic elections after that?
Yep, he was a prime minister then.
Soon may the noblemen come to bring a bottle for everyone. One day when the waiting is done, we'll take a drink and go.
Heck of a thing, man, what people will do.
Right. So, I came to America for the first time. I was 17 years old. It was actually very crazy because it was my first high school practice. And I remember two of my teammates who were Christians, they walk up to me in a locker room and said, listen, man, we know that you're from Turkey and we know that you're Muslim. And if you want, after the practice, we would like you take you to go get some halal food and take you to a mosque. I promise you, I turned around and left the locker room. Because I just didn't know what they were trying to do. But then I remember the promise.
Don't hate him till you meet him.
Exactly. So I came back. I was like, you know what I have to lose? Let's go. They were so respectful. They were so kind. They took me to a mosque. They even took their shoes off, right? And then we went to go get some Turkish food. It was so amazing, so delicious. That two teammates changed my whole life. They put a little question mark in my head. I started to question. For the last 17 years, I was hearing about how evil the Americans are, the Christians. Exactly. So like that two teammate put a question mark in my head. So
were you were you Utah or Boston?
In a high school, I went to California, Simi Valley.
Mm-hmm.
It was just an amazing experience. Stone Age prep. Beautiful area. I mean, I just love California because of the weather.
Yeah.
It was so beautiful. So, and then after my high school year, I met a friend who was a girl. I remember one day, she called me and said, I want you to come to my house for a dinner. Would you like to come Friday? I was like, well, I'm busy Friday. Can I come Saturday? They said, no, it has to be Friday. I was like, why? They said, well, because that's our special dinner. I'm like, what are you talking about? They said, well, it's a Shabbat dinner. I said, what's a Shabbat dinner? I said, what's a Shabbat dinner? They said, well, just because of we are Jewish, as soon as I heard the word Jewish, I hang up the phone. I promise you. And I sit there for a second. I'm like, I cannot believe I just had a conversation with someone who is Jewish. Like, am I going to go to hell? I promise you. Having an American or Christian friend was, I guess, like, sure, whatever. But, like, having a Jewish friend, man, like, I'm like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
You know? So then I remember the promise again. I gave it to my mom. I was like, God, I don't know if I could do this. So that night I barely slept, and in the morning I called her. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna call her and say I'm gonna go. So I called her. I was like, listen, I'm gonna come, but listen, I don't eat pork. I don't drink alcohol. They said, good. We don't eat pork either. I was like, oh, interesting. So
did she say, hey man, you hung up on me? What was that all about?
no, she was the kindest person, man. She was so nice. She knew that my mind was poisoned. So she was just taking her time. Before I went to her house, I called one of my friends that lives in America. I was like, listen, I'm gonna go to my friend's house. And he was like, so then why are you calling me? He's like, well, she's Jewish. He's like, you crazy? What are you doing? They eat babies, they drink blood, they're gonna convert you, you crazy.
Now this isn't just like hyperbole. Did your friend genuinely believe that?
Oh yeah, of course. Well,
See, I don't think you
100%.
can. I don't think you can just gloss over it. 'Cause a lot of people listening are like, yeah, but I mean, people, propaganda and so forth.
Oh,
But
no.
You
He
genuinely believe the Jewish people are eating babies
And drinking blood.
and drinking blood.
Yeah, that's what he said. So I was like, listen, my mom is one of the most important things to me, and I gave her a promise, and I cannot break that promise. I gotta go. But I asked him, like, I want you to do one thing for me. And he said, what is it? If you don't hear from me for the next 2 hours, call the police. This is the address I'm going to. So I gave him, my friend, her address, and I was like, if you don't hear from me for the next 2 hours, you gotta call the police. Anyway, so I took an Uber, went to her house. Before I got into her house, she kissed her hand and just slapped the door. I'm like, what are you doing? I said, oh, that's a mezuzah. That's like the prayer that when we walk in the room that we kiss. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. So when I walk into her house, her mom greeted me with Turkish delight. And I was just very like, this is very interesting. I was like, are they trying to brainwash me? Why are they being so kind?
And what exactly is Turkish delight?
Turkish delight is like the most, I think, like after Turkish baklava. I don't want Greek people who's watching this to get mad. But
we don't let the Greeks listen. You're fine.
After Turkish baklava, Turkish delight is actually one of the most like famous thing that the Turks put it out there. Anyway, so and then we sit down on a Shabbat table. The first they were just praying. They would put their hand over their face and they prayed and stuff, and they light some candle and stuff, and they were they were explaining everything to me step by step. And then it was time for the pour the wine or pour the grape juice, and I'm like, it's something red. I'm thinking about, like, is this the blood that my friend is talking about?
It's the blood.
Or is it actually like they said? So he gave it to me at the show. So she gave me the little glass. I was like, I'm not drinking this. Sorry. She said, well, it's a grape juice. You want me to try? I was like, you can go ahead and try. I'm not going to try anything. So that night, I remember I had one of the most amazing dinner I've ever had in my life. The food was very similar, Middle Eastern food. Some of the culture was very similar, the washing hands and all that stuff. And her mom said, before I was about to leave, she said, don't pay for Shabbat, just come anytime. This is your family. When I got in the car, I got so emotional because there are millions of kids in the Middle East growing up anti-Semitic, anti-West, anti-American, anti-Christian just because of those hate speeches. I was like, that night, I promised to myself, whatever happens in life, I'm going to do whatever I can to inspire those millions of kids in the Middle East growing up without knowing anything, without knowing the other side.
Are you still in touch?
Yes,
with her?
I'm actually still in touch with her. She still helps me with a lot of things. I usually like give names and stuff, but like whenever I give names, they usually get attacked by Turkish trolls. So I keep everyone's name secret.
How much of that is in the book? The
Oh,
story you just
it is in
told
the
me?
book, but without giving any names. Like if you look at like the first couple pages, I usually use code names, so the people won't, the Turkish government or whoever won't go after them or after their families.
And this dinner, how old again were you when you had this dinner?
Oh my God, like 18, 19, something like
Okay.
that. Yeah.
So that's a big moment. Then very quickly your NBA career unfolds and everything's coming up roses, and you're in the land of opportunity and liberty, and you're the center for what was it, Utah first?
Utah first.
And then the Celtics.
And then the Celtics, the Knicks, OKC, Portland. So I literally got a taste of like the whole America, every part of America. But the beautiful thing was, I went to University of Kentucky. Coach Cal, I think one of the best, college coach out there. I had an amazing time. Around that time I was trying to learn English, and I couldn't literally learn any English for a year straight because I had no idea what people in Kentucky was saying, because the accent was just so thick, man.
Yeah.
Like I had a translator. I had an English translator for whatever they. I understand nothing.
Is there, I mean, I find that super interesting, but is there a corollary in Turkey where in part of the country you can be completely fluent in the language? Is it Arabic, Farsi?
It's Turkish.
It's just,
It's
okay.
Turkish, but like you said, it's like America. Like part of Turkey is like you talk with like a thicker accent, and like people from Istanbul or Ankara wouldn't understand what you're saying because your accent is thick and you use some like very different words and stuff. And also like where I grew up, there were a lot of Kurdish people, so some of them mix with Kurdish with Turkish. I'm also like part Kurdish and Turkish. So
How many
I'm
languages
both.
do you speak?
I only speak two. It's actually very funny. So I learned English in a very. I'm gonna give you the crazy story. So when I went to college, I went to one of my teammates. I'm like, listen, man, like I want to learn like the English that like you guys speak. Is there like a show out there or like a TV series or a movie that you can give me that I can watch it and learn English? He said, yeah, of course. I was like, what is it? They said Jersey Shore. So it's crazy. I started watching Jersey Shore, right? I'm like, if this is America's about, Americans are doomed. This is crazy.
You
But
should have watched Dirty Jobs. You
Yeah.
learned to talk real pretty on that one.
no, it was very hard for me to like adjust to American culture because like the one day I woke up before the practice, you usually eat something light like a cereal, whatever. So I pour a cereal brand and I mix it with the milk and I start eating it, and all my teammates started to like go crazy and laugh at me. I'm like, what are you guys doing? Like, why are you guys laughing at me? They said, this is not a cereal, this is Cheez-It. They said this is not a cereal. I didn't know what Cheez-It was. I was like, this is the first time I guess Americans like their cereal salty. Anyway,
You had a bowl of Cheez-Its before
for a
the
cereal.
game. That's great.
but yeah, then after that I got drafted by Utah Jazz. It was actually, I was very lucky because Mormons, very peaceful and kind people. They knocked my door so many times. We had so many beautiful conversations. But the reason I was very lucky because there's not much things going on in Utah. Everything was shutting down at like 8, 9 p.m.
Not a big drinking town.
Definitely not. So I was focusing on basketball. So it was perfect for me.
So just to kind of cut to the chase, because I know we did talk about a lot of this before, but I just want people to understand as best they can, did it all go bad overnight? Like, when did you first take a stand that created the series of events that ultimately led to your banishment?
So 2013 in December, there was a huge corruption scandal happening in Turkey. President Erdogan and his family was involved in it. And after that corruption scandal, after President Erdogan got caught, well, he was a prime minister back then, he started to put innocent people in jail. He started to shut down media outlets. He started to put persecutors in jail. And I'm like, I don't care who you are, but if you're fighting against free media, I'm going to say something. So I literally put a tweet out there. Because of the NBA platform, it became a huge conversation in the United States and Turkey.
You're at the Celtics at this point?
I was with Utah, actually. Yeah. So that really bothered the Turkish government. They sent a lot of like signals and say like, he better stop talking about the issues. First, my dad was scientist, they fired him. And my sister, she went to medical school for 6 years and she still cannot find a job. And I think the saddest one was my little brother because he wanted to be like his big brother, play basketball in NBA, but because of the same last name, he was getting kicked out of every team. So my family was getting affected so much, they had to put a statement out there and said, we are disowning NS.
Oh.
So the letter actually is still out there on the internet. I remember going to a practice that day. It was definitely one of the toughest days in my life. And then Turkish government didn't believe that letter. They sent.
Did you?
I don't have any communication with my family. So I never really had a conversation to ask. But the Turkish government didn't believe that. They sent police to my house in Turkey and they raided the whole house and they took every electronics away, phones, computers, laptops, iPads, because they wanted to see if I am still in contact with my family or not. They couldn't find no evidence because I wasn't, but they still took my dad in jail for a while. If you're someone who's not high profile, they will torture you in jails. But if you're someone who's high profile, they will give you chemicals to mess out with your brain. So when my dad got out, I asked my brother, how is he doing? He said he watches the walls all day, and when we ask him what happened in there, he never talks about it. And then after that, things got worse. They revoked my passport. They tried to kidnap me from Romania. They arrested me in Romania.
Wait, Enes, is this all because of a tweet?
Yeah. Well, I mean, after the tweet, I started to talk about more and more issues because it's my country. And the thing is, I'm not talking about politics. This is human rights. I was talking about the human rights violations and political prisoners. So I don't care which party you are in Turkey, you have to support what I have to say because this is not politics at all. This is pure human rights. And then after that, they revoked my passport and they put my name on Interpol list. I am now only allowed to go to 29 countries in the world. If I go any other country, then if that
immediate
country,
extradition.
Exactly.
Right. They have to, because of whatever treaty they signed with Interpol, they have to send you back to Turkey.
Even they said this, which would just blow my mind. So I was going to Jerusalem to organize a basketball camp between Israelis and Palestinians. So if you go from America directly to Jerusalem, the plane goes over Turkey and it's their airspace. When I had conversation with some of the ambassadors here, they said, listen, this is dangerous because usually like the Belarus government, what they did was they call up the plane and say there's a bomb in the plane. They bring the plane down, they do a little fake search and they said we can't find anything, but they arrest the guy and they said okay, keep going. So when we had a conversation with the airline company, they literally went around Turkey so I could just be safe, which I want to give a huge shout out to all the ambassadors to make this happen. I went to visit Pope back in 2022. I went to his audience, listened to his speech, beautiful speech. Literally the next day, they put a bounty on my head.
The Turkish government?
The Turkish government put a bounty on my head. And I had a conversation with the FBI literally the next day. They said, listen, this will trigger a lot of bad people. We cannot protect you outside of America. You have to get back to America immediately. So I took a next flight, came to America, and now everywhere I go, I have to let someone know that where I am. Even when I was playing for Portland Trailblazers, the FBI came to my apartment.
You needed to check in with people
exactly.
Constantly.
And they said, apartment, not safe, you have to move to a hotel. So I moved to a hotel room. When I was in a road game, they came to my room and they set up this thing called panic button. They said, whenever you feel uncomfortable, push that button and we'll be there in 2 or 3 minutes.
So what's the NBA doing in the midst of all this?
So actually, when the conversation obviously was not China, but was about Turkey, they respected me so much. Adam Silver many times came out and said, we support our player.
Commissioner.
The commissioner of the NBA. They said, the whole NBA, not only the commissioner, but my coaches, my teammates, the front office. They said, listen, keep doing what you're doing. You believe in, you standing for what you believe in, and we're praying for you. Adam Silver actually had many times came out and said, we support our player, and his interviews are out there on the internet. that meant a lot to me because, when basketball was my escape. I mean, I have not seen my family over 11 years. So every time I step on the court, it was just all about me and my teammates, just having fun. They were just like my brothers. Literally, NBA became my family.
Yeah. Until
I started to talk about China.
Tibet?
Every issue, actually, not only Tibet. It started very, very funny because I was doing a basketball camp with Hakeem Jeffries in his district. After the basketball camp, all the kids just lined up one by one, and they were just taking pictures and getting autographs. I remember there was this one parent. I was taking a picture with his kid. He literally called me out in front of everybody, and he said, "How can you call yourself a human rights activist when your Muslim brothers and sisters are getting tortured and raped every day in concentration camp in China?"
Uyghurs.
It's the Uyghurs. So I was just, whoa, right? And I'm still smiling for the camera for his kid. I was like, I promise I'm going to get back to you. So that day I canceled everything. I went back to my hotel. I started to research. Uyghurs, Tibetans, Hong Kongers, Taiwanese people, Mongolians, Falun Gongs, right? My plate was full for the last 10 years because I've been trying to get my family out of there. But then I'm like, listen, if I call myself an activist, I don't care what it takes. I'm not only going to talk about on behalf of Turkish people. I'm just going to go out there, despite their religion, culture, whoever they are, just going to be the voice of voiceless people. And then
You just decided I've got this
Myself,
career,
yep.
and I've got a platform, I suppose, right?
Exactly.
I mean, you saw what a tweet could do.
Yep.
What if you really lean into it?
So actually this time I decided to not put a tweet out there. What I care about was, I was like, I want to inspire the next generation. So Celtics fans are going to get mad, but so I grew up as a Lakers fan. Obviously Kobe Bryant and Shaq and the championship, whatever teams. So like when I was waking up at like 3, 4 a.m. in Turkey and watching the Lakers, and the first thing I was watching was the shoes. Obviously every kid in the world just loves shoes, right? So I came up with this idea. I was like, I'm going to reach out to all these artists around the world who's been oppressed by their governments, and I'm going to ask them to put all the struggles on a shoe, and I'm going to go out there and play basketball. So I looked at the rule book.
You turn your feet into a billboard.
Exactly. But I looked at the rule book. There's no rule against it because back in 2020 during COVID, NBA put us in a bubble. And in that bubble, everybody was putting on their shoes Breonna Taylor, Black Lives Matter, George Floyd, I Can't Breathe. So I'm like, there is no rule against it. If they are allowed to put I Can't Breathe on their shoes, I should be allowed to put Free the Uyghurs, Free Tibet, or whatever. Mm-hmm. So I was playing for the Celtics. You're gonna love this. I was playing for the Celtics. Our first game, it was the season opener for the Knicks. So I put the shoes on. My first shoes was the Free Tibet. I went out there, started to warm up. Literally, the game hasn't started yet. 1 minute before the game, there was 2 gentlemen from the NBA. They were walking for the Celtics. They came up to me and said, "Take your shoes off." I'm like, "Excuse me?" They said, "Your shoes has been getting so much attention internationally. The game haven't started yet. You gotta take them off." It was the perfect moment for me because I was just getting ready for my citizenship test. So I was like, I closed my eyes. I was like, okay, we have 27 amendments. My first amendment, freedom of speech. I turn around, I'm like, no, I'm not taking them off. I was like, I don't even care if I get fined. They said, buddy, we're not talking about getting fined. We're talking about getting banned. They were literally threatening me to get banned from the NBA because of the shoes that I was wearing.
What a long way you came from the kid who hung up on the nice Jewish girl who invited him over for dinner. I mean, that's amazing. But okay, so that's a moment. And a lot of these moments, and it's for me anyway, not that I've been in anything that extreme, but you don't know it till you look back and you realize, wow, that was the thing that was going to change or alter the trajectory of my life. Did you understand in the moment how consequential that was?
I understand later on. And because they were panicked. After the first half, I went back to locker room, which I played 0 minutes in the first half. There was thousands of notifications on my phone. I clicked on the one that my manager sent me. He said, every Celtics game is banned in China. It took them 24 minutes to ban every Celtics game on television.
Before the game started, because they saw you practicing?
They warming up. I was laying the ball up. I was not playing at all. The game, I mean, there are like little cameras. The game was televised, like, obviously nationally. It was on ESPN or something. So like before the game, obviously they took like little videos of the players and stuff. So the first game, it literally took them 24 minutes. The first quarter, 12 minutes. Second quarter, 12 minutes, to ban every Celtics game on television. So I was like, well, that clearly shows my point. The first half, I went back out there. I warm up a little more, and the second half, again, I played 0 minutes. The game went to overtime. I played every game, every preseason game before that. We lost the game, obviously.
Obviously.
Anyway, so after the game, literally, I was getting like media requests from all over the world. So I told my manager, cancel everything. I just didn't want my teammates to think I'm doing this for attention. After the game, the NBPA called me, which the Player Association. I paid thousands of dollars every month to protect my rights against the NBA. They said, you can now wear those shoes ever again. I even asked them, like, am I breaking the rules? They said, no. I was like, no, you can never wear them ever again. They pressured me so much. I was like, you know what? I promise you guys, I'm not going to wear free Tibet shoes ever again. They said, promise? I said, promise. I hung up the phone. So the second game,
oh no,
I wore free
See
Uyghur
where
shoes.
this is going, right?
I know.
So the second game, I didn't lie though. In the second game, I wore free Uyghur shoes. They called me after the game. They said, you liar, you lied to us. I was like, first of all, I didn't lie to you. I never said I'm not going to wear free Uyghur shoes. I just said I'm just not going to wear free Tibet shoes. The third game was the end, because we played against third or fourth game. We played against Charlotte, and who owns Charlotte? Michael Jordan. So I ordered his shoes. His most famous shoe is called Concord. I put made with slave labor. Before the game, right? I'm gonna go out there and play with those. I saw Michael Jordan on the stands, and I was just like, this is it. Like this cannot get any more fun and better than this. So I went out there with his shoes, played in front of Michael Jordan with his own shoes, and put made with slave labor. After the game, all my teammates walked up to me and said, buddy, this is your last year. Have fun. You're not going to be playing basketball ever again on an NBA court. So say goodbye to basketball. My agent called me and he said, listen, man, I work for you. I don't work for an NBA. But this is our last year. Just have fun. If you say, you already did enough damage to NBA and everyone else around you. But if you say another word, you're not going to be, playing basketball ever again. And you're 29 years old. You can play another 6 years. You're not only throwing away 6 years, you're literally throwing away between $30 to $40 million. I said, okay. I hang up the phone, never talked to him again. And February came, I played my last game. And after the game, I was against the Brooklyn Nets.
Were you still wearing shoes at this point that are upsetting people?
Oh, yeah, of course. I was like, if this is my last year, I'm just going to go all out.
You might as well just get yourself tattooed.
I played against my last game against the Brooklyn Nets. And then after the game, the next day was the trade deadline. And after the game, everybody was giving me hugs and shaking my hand and pretty much like telling me goodbye. Because they knew I was either going to get released by the Celtics or they were going to trade me to a team. And that team was going to release me. 10 minutes before the trade deadline, I got traded to Houston Rockets, which is known by the China's team because of Yao Ming. And then Houston Rockets literally released me in 3 minutes. And 3 weeks after they released me, they put the games back on the Chinese television. Yeah.
Did you ever get a sense of what kind of money was at stake? Chinese rights, broadcast? Obviously the NBA made a financial decision, but to what degree? So more people watch NBA games in China than American population last year.
So think about the shoe sales, the jersey sales, Tencent. Think about all the TV deals.
Tencent is the big company that's sort of like Facebook on steroids.
Exactly. Every NBA player, I don't want to say every, but like most of the NBA player, whenever their season over, what do? You got to relax, right? You go to a vacation with your family, you hang out, you just chill. Before even they go to their vacation, they go to China to organize a basketball camp. I even remember I played in some teams. I don't want to call out some names right now, but like right after the All-Star break, so I'm talking about like March. Season was about to end like April if you don't make the playoffs. They were planning their China trip.
Mm-hmm.
They said, well, I want to go here. I'm going to go do this because I got a lot of business. I got like a lot of money. And I'm just very shocked. I'm like, wow, this is crazy. Like these players literally planning their China trip before their family vacation.
I'm still stuck on the fact that 400 million people watched the NBA
Maybe more
in
now.
China.
Maybe more now. And also like 40 NBA owners got tied up $10 billion with Chinese government.
So that this is what I'm trying to get to. It's not tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands or millions. It's many, many, many billions of dollars.
Of course, yeah. And that's every year.
That comes down to a freaking pair of sneakers, dude. You put on a pair of shoes and started. You poked the bear in the eye. Actually, that'd be Russia. What is China? You poke the panda bear in the eye.
Actually, it's very funny. Because, you know the cartoon called the Winnie the Pooh?
Sure.
Is banned in China.
Winnie the Pooh is banned in China?
You know why?
No.
So
Eeyore?
the Xi Jinping, the president of China, they were making fun of him because they said, well, he looks like the Winnie the Pooh. This dude banned literally the whole cartoon in the whole country. So they call him Winnie the Pooh.
Winnie the Pooh was Piglet and Eeyore and Tigger. Wonderful thing about Tigger. Tigger's a wonderful thing. Their tops are made out of rubber. Their bottoms are made out of spring. They're bouncy, 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 bouncy bundles of fun, fun, fun.
Yep.
The wonderful thing about Tiggers is I'm the only one. Yeah, I grew up with Winnie the Pooh, but I had not heard that.
It's right here. I mean, they kind of look like. I mean, come on, man.
I could see it.
Right?
I mean, if you could put the hat on.
The eyes, the mouth, the nose.
Just no sense of humor, though. I mean, really, you ought to be able to laugh at that.
Exactly, man. Come on. Like, you cannot just ban the whole cartoon because some people were saying he looks like him.
I'm going to get back to the NBA in a minute because it is a. I mean, look, I find it appalling. Actually, I appreciate the sport, and I have some friends who are season ticket holders, and some of them, I had heated conversations with the last time I talked to you, and they listened to the podcast, and I'm like, that was compelling.
Oh.
And then I said, and then you went back to your season tickets, didn't you? Well, yeah, we're still going to watch.
Yep.
Very, 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 very difficult to get people to change that kind of behavior on this level.
Right.
But look, I wanted to talk to you in person about all of this because two things have happened since I talked to you last. The first is a guy sat right where you're sitting named Jan Jekielek, who writes for the Epoch Times.
Okay.
And he and I had a long conversation about organ harvesting.
Yeah.
Which I don't know how much you know about that.
Some.
But, they're talking about an $8 or a $10 billion market.
We even made shoes out of organ harvesting. Yeah.
Say that again?
We even made a shoe that will expose all the organ harvesting.
Oh, God, I thought you said you made a shoe
No,
out of
no.
organs that were
It's
harvested.
my English.
I'm like, that's a
No.
That's
I
not
want to
best-selling
show
shoe.
you.
That's a bridge too far, right?
Yeah,
there.
that's
No. I want to actually
you can't
show
lace
you.
that up.
I want to show you actually the shoe. There you go. This is right here. If you look at the organ harvesting shoes. So I really wanted to expose the whole thing.
Oh, man, that's fantastic.
Yeah. So I really wanted to expose the whole thing. So I literally wore this in an NBA game. Yeah.
Oh, man, there's no way I'm going to be able to show this to the camera. But
I found it.
Oh, you
on
found it?
Instagram. I'm putting
Yep,
it up.
there you
guy
go.
here.
there
It's
it
right
is.
here.
See.
I mean, listen, man. I told you I was gonna go all out there, right? So I
Dude,
was
you are a
like,
jagged little pill.
So
That's
I
what
was
you are.
like, let's just
Except
expose
without the little part.
yeah, I was like, let's just expose the whole system, man.
You literally are. What size shoe is that?
Oh, these are like 17s.
What do you wear? You wear a 17.
17. And the crazy thing is, these are not even basketball
It's his
shoes.
shoe, Mike.
Well, I'm just saying that if it were my shoe, there'd be room for stop.org.
Right.
He's got room. Like it really is a billboard. You're like a NASCAR.
So these are not
Driver.
even basketball shoes. These are like, Converse, like some type of like, these are like walking shoes out there. And I was like so afraid that I'm going to wear those shoes and roll my ankle in them. So these are not like true basketball shoes. Like you walk with those shoes out there.
I'd wear those.
Yeah. So this is
Can I get a
pretty-
pair of those?
Of course, yeah.
Like, where do I go? Where do I order a pair of those?
So we have to make one, but
Custom?
I'm
going to need two,
I'll try
actually.
to- yeah.
Otherwise, I'm limping around with my
I
right
got
foot with an important
other-
message and a hush puppy on my other one.
The other one was about if you can pull it up. The other one was about the surveillance cameras.
Oh.
It was about how Chinese government use surveillance cameras to just track people.
Well, that's important to me too. But it's also interesting that it was a camera and a shoe combined that really brought you
Yeah.
to where you are.
Yeah.
I mean, it's attention being paid and people reacting as they react. You just forced people to. You put them in a really inconvenient spot. I mean, it's billions and billions of dollars, and I'll just say it, man. I mean, how else can you spin this? The NBA made a financial decision that had absolutely nothing to do with principle.
I was having this like hearing in DC, and I like all these congressmen and people are asking me like a lot of like tough questions. Both sides, Democrats and Republicans. Like I asked them, like at the end of our hearing, I asked them one simple question. I was like, listen, how can a dictatorship can control 100% American-made organization like NBA and fire a U.S. citizen? They all looked at each other and they said, we have no answer.
And then they looked at their shoes because
Yeah.
that's what people do
Yeah.
when they don't know where else to look.
I mean, listen, till this day, I don't talk about politics. I can proudly say that, like, listen, if human rights is above politics. I don't care which side you vote for, whoever party you cheer for, or whoever congressman or senator you support. Like, you have to care about human rights, And I'm so happy that my message never changed. No one can spin my message and say, well, he's doing this because of that. No, I really care about people, man, because I think that the one thing that our world is missing is empathy. While we are comfortably living in this country and playing basketball, making millions and eating the most delicious food and sleeping in the most warmest bed, on the other side of the world, people are losing their loved ones, losing their lives, and losing their homes. That's why, I would just wish that more athletes, because they play a very important role in our society, I wish more athletes stand up for what they believe in.
Well, in their defense, Ennis, it's only the hardest thing in the world. It's only the hardest thing in the world. And the fact that, I know it must have been difficult for you, but I don't know how else to say it. It's just overwhelming for people to do that. Look, it's one thing to say a thing. It's another thing to say it and then say, I mean it. In fact, I'll raise my hand and take an oath. In fact, I'll make a pledge to God and my family. But then you really turn the screws. And then you start to see where the courage of the convictions is. And what did you sacrifice? A career? Check. Millions of dollars personally? Check. Your family?
Yeah.
Check. Your friends? Check.
Yeah.
So what else can they take?
Say someone like LeBron, someone like Kevin Durant, someone like Stephen Curry, or all these athletes who's been, signed with Nike or whoever, right? If they say, stop the slave labor, right, to Nike or whoever, they will stop it. Because if all these players gets together and actually started to become a movement, my voice is only one, right? But think about if Kevin Durant, Stephen Curry, or LeBron James, or these people started to join. I don't want to say I want to educate them because they already know the conversations that are happening. They already know that their shoes being made by slave kids back in China. It all matters to like if they're gonna stand for what they believe in. And many of them came out and said, we are more than athletes. But then you pick and choose.
Do you have security?
I mean, I am in touch with FBI, but when I go outside of America.
No, I mean, like you showed up here by yourself. Would you drive yourself here?
Oh no, downstairs. I have people.
You have somebody downstairs.
Yeah,
Okay.
I have people downstairs. Yeah.
Look, man, I'm trying to do two things now. Just as a human being who's been walking around for 60 some years, I'm trying to put myself in your place, and I'm trying to put myself in LeBron James's place, and I'm trying to put myself in Stephen Curry's place. And what you just did, you literally just called them out right here. You literally are just saying that if you could take half a dozen of the creme de la creme NBA players and come together, literally sit down right here, cameras anywhere, and just say, we're sitting here united with one goal, to make this stop.
Yeah.
And we're not going to play until you stop it. And we've, so, I mean, you put it out there, I'm articulating it, and I'm just really wondering at what point do one of those, like, what would it take? If you could pick one of them to stand right next to you and say everything that you've just said, who would it be?
I mean, I think like someone like LeBron, right? I mean, he is the face of the league, and he was the one person that during like 2020, when all the protests were happening, I mean, like he was I guess like the biggest name in sports that came out and said, okay, this is wrong, this is right, this is that, this is this, right? So every player pretty much like in NBA looks up to him, and like he just signed a $1 billion contract with Nike. It's a lifetime contract, by the way. So like, what else do you want? You know what I mean? You are LeBron James. Like, what else do you want? And you have a chance to become like, maybe, I'm not saying as big as Muhammad Ali, but like,
Bigger.
Maybe. So
think it just
with the media now, with the social media and everything, like you could get bigger, but now like half of the country thinks you are a hypocrite because you are standing things that are happening in America because that is not going to affect your pocket.
But Ennis, he's not looking at half the country, not that half. He's looking at the half that show up at every game, no matter what, who applaud. He's looking at what he wants to see. Right? It's like, there's the elephant, I'm going to focus on the tusk. Never mind all the rest of it. So, but I get your point.
Yeah. So obviously he's not the only name. I'm just calling him out because, I mean, he is the face of the league still at the age of like 40, 41. So I just hope that like I'm just saying, like, put yourself in their shoes, put your kids in their shoes. If your mother, if your sister, if your daughter was on those concentration camps, getting tortured every day, would you still pick money and business over your morals, values, and principles? Empathy, man. Empathy,
Yeah. Well, empathy follows awareness.
Right.
Typically, not always, but the ostrich syndrome is the thing. The most compelling anti-war movie I've ever seen is called Come and See.
Okay. Didn't watch it.
I almost can't recommend it because it'll stick with you in a way that you probably don't. But then again, here I am mentioning it. It just, the point is, I just took a tour of Dachau. I was in Germany, and I felt I didn't really want to see it.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest, it didn't feel like a great way to spend a cloudy day.
Right. I don't blame you.
But I'm so glad I did. It's like I didn't learn anything new, but everything I thought I knew I saw. And when you're standing on a place, reading a plaque that's explaining specifically what happened on the place where you're standing, okay, right? It's just another level. LeBron James didn't hang up on a nice Jewish girl 25 years ago who invited him to a dinner. He didn't have a mother who said, right? Wait to hate him till you meet him.
Yeah.
Right? So you didn't have your past, you didn't have his, and so forth and so on. But I just find it so extraordinary to, like, all these guys are just living their lives, and then this kid comes over from Turkey and puts on a pair of inconvenient shoes,
Yeah.
and now they're being called out. And look, I told you there were two things. The first thing, since I talked to you last, was the organ harvesting thing. The other thing was October 7th.
Yeah.
In fact, I think you and I probably talked right before that.
We did, yeah. Pretty much, yeah. It was
So-
2 days ago.
I mean, given all of this, and I know you don't get political, but you kind of open the door. Where are you with what's going on over there now?
So here's what I look at it. I have so many Jewish friends. I have so many Muslim friends, and I obviously after October 7th, both sides reached out, and we had a lot of like conversations together. This is what I focus on. You know, the innocent people. Obviously, as a Muslim, of course, I support my Palestinian brothers and sisters. But at the same time, there are thousands of innocent people, kids, whatever, civilians, mothers, fathers are being killed on the Israeli side as well. You know, and when I say this, people go crazy. It's like, no, you have to pick a side. like I don't get into politics. People behind the table are the one that giving the orders, but the innocent people on the streets are the one that gets hurt. So what happened on October 7th was one of the most disgusting things that happened. And after that, I started to research. But this is what I found out actually. So our Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, had war rules. Like when we go to war, he said we have rules. And I looked at those rules, right? He said when we go to war, we are not allowed to kill babies. We're not allowed to kill women. We are not allowed to kill elderly. We're not even allowed to kill animals or cut down trees. We're not, if someone is running, you cannot go after him and kill him. Or we're not allowed to knock down the holy areas like mosques or synagogues or temples or church. We're not allowed to kill a priest or a rabbi. So if any group or if anyone goes against what our Prophet said, he does not represent true Islam. So what Hamas did that day does not represent true Islam. I just want to get it out there. And you know what? All the rules and everything out there is actually on the internet. So you can actually go and look at it.
There's some rules on the other side too, right? The Ten Commandments. Everybody's got a playbook, but even the NBA, there's a playbook for you.
So that's why I'm like, yeah, exactly. So that's why I'm like, I try to focus on the kids and the innocent people. Like we just talked about it. When I went to Jerusalem, when I brought the Israeli kids and Palestinian kids together, right? I remember like the first day, the Palestinians were standing in one half court and the Israeli was on the other court. Forget about passing a ball to each other. They were not even like shaking hands or they were not even looking at each other. And I like started to put them in the same team. They were not passing the balls, whatever. And then after a while, because those are just kids, after a while, you know, they started to like talk, have conversations. And I remember like when I put myself in the same team with a Jewish kid and a Palestinian girl, I got a rebound. I passed the ball to this Jewish kid. He crossed someone over. He passed the ball to this Palestinian girl, and she scored the ball. While she was coming back, they high-five each other. I'm like, this is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life. Like, this is what we need, you know? And then after 2 weeks, they started to hug each other. They started to exchange numbers. They started to like follow each other on Instagram. I'm like, this is what we need the most in life, man, because everybody has their right and wrong. You ask the Palestinian side, they have rights, and you ask the Israeli side, they have rights, whatever. But like as an activist and as a Muslim activist, of course I care about my Palestinian brothers and sisters, and what's happened over there is terrible as well. But at the same time, man, I have to care about those innocent people on the Israeli side too.
It's really the most beautiful thing about sport. The idea that, you know, when people who don't agree on much come together to high five a great no-look pass followed. I mean, it's like that's That's a great thing. It's a small thing, right? It's a high five.
Right? That's it. That's all I needed, man.
But a shoe is a small thing too.
Yeah.
Maybe there are no small things. As I say to a 7 foot. How tall are you exactly?
With shoes on, I'm close to 7 foot. I say 7 foot is easier to say.
Who do you admire? Who do you admire in the wide world of sports more than anyone, and why?
I mean, I will pick, I think, Muhammad Ali, because what he did not only on the ring but off the ring was just.
You realize how despised he was.
Yeah. At one point, yeah.
69, 70, 71.
And and then he became a legend after that. You ask anyone now that what he did on and off the ring was just unbelievable.
How do you sum up that? Was it sacrifice? Was it standing for a thing? Was it being unpopular, willing to be hated?
I think the sacrifice, not only talking about money, or I'm not only talking about like career wise, because everybody can go out there and speak up things that are most matter to themselves, but once the money or the family or the career gets involved, many people says like, okay, that's where I just draw the line and say enough. But I respect people who goes beyond and actually make some sacrifices for what they believe in. It's all about hypocrisy, I'll give you the best example. Colin Kaepernick was my really good friend. When I was having all this, fights against, the Turkish government, me and him sit down and had a lot of conversations about like, what can I do to fight harder.
Did you know each other prior to that, or did he reach out?
No, we were messaging he followed me on Twitter. I followed him back, and we're just messaging, and finally we met in New York. He was giving me a lot of ideas about how I should fight and bring even more awareness. The day I started to criticize Nike, I never heard from him ever again. So that shattered my heart, because this guy used to send his, like, once a month he used to send me gifts. I still have his jerseys in my house. You can pull it up too. I mean, it's on Google. Like, if you put Enes Kanter or Colin Kaepernick, our picture will come up. But I just thought that he will stand with me, and I'm like, well, I finally have a friend who made pretty much like a similar sacrifice. And the day I started to criticize Nike, I never heard from him ever again. I tried to text him a couple times. I sent him a message on social media, but that was it.
This is sort of interesting. I'm going to send you a link to a story I wrote that was actually inspired by him. Mm-hmm. And it's called Something to Stand For. In fact, it was turned into a movie. And I was struck. God, when was it? When did all the kneeling start?
Mm-hmm. 2000, I guess, like, I'm trying to think actually, 19, 20, maybe like 17, 18 maybe even?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. Because I was so torn, and I like to give everybody the benefit of the doubt, but mm-hmm. It was such a strange thing to see, never mind Colin, but a stadium full of people so confused over whether to stand and sing or kneel and pray, and just everybody doing different things in an attempt to somehow express themselves, mm-hmm. which is really not so different than writing some words on a shoe. Right? Yeah. It's like, this is who this is the human condition. Yeah. We feel something and we want to share it, and we want the camera at us so more people can see it and whatever. But I think that it's the great struggle of our time. What will you stand for, and why will you do it? And when the going gets tough, will you stick or not?
That's the important part.
Look, man, I mean, this isn't even comparable. It happens to me in 1,000 different ways all of the time. But it's okay. Once you say a thing, if I say, look, you know what I really want? I want the sponsors on this podcast mm-hmm. to all make their products in America. That's what I want. Yeah. And I do. But how much do I want it? Because there are a couple of sponsors here that make a terrific product, but it's not made in this country. Now, what do I do with that? How do I think about that? Where do I draw the line? It's real easy for people to look at me and go, oh, well, you're bringing, oh, I guess you sold out, didn't you?
Yeah.
Well, maybe I did. Maybe I didn't. Maybe my line is just drawn a little differently. I'm not making excuses. I'm just saying that you mentioned the word hypocrisy. Everybody is looking for the inconsistency in their hero, the fault in the star, and because we love to bring guys like LeBron down. We love that. We like to build them up. We like to bring them down.
Yeah.
You're weird and super interesting because I don't know anybody who's sacrificed so much. So, blah blah blah. Why'd you write the book, and what do you want people to feel when they read it?
I wanted to give something to the world because all these threats, all this thing, I wanted to, it was actually on internet. There was so much threats at one point. I wanted to do a life insurance. I called the company and said, listen, you have a very high percent chance of getting killed. We cannot give you a full coverage. We can only give you a half coverage. So I literally have 2 different coverages now, half and half, because they didn't want to give me the full coverage because they said, well, I have a high percent chance of getting killed. When I had a conversation with the State Department, some people from the State Department, they told me not to give their name. We sit down and had the craziest meeting. They told me that which government can use which tactics to get me or bring me down. It was literally like when I walked into the room, there was like all the countries lined up one by one. They said, China, they said, you are 30 whatever years old, you're single. From now on, you'll be getting text messages, calls, DMs, WhatsApp messages from one of the most beautiful girls in the world. Do not answer any of them, they're Chinese spies. They said you will be stopping on a light and a car will be coming and hitting you in the back, and then the girl will come out, be 10 out of 10, and we'll exchange numbers, and then boom, you'll become their slave. Watch out. For the last 2-3 years, that got into my head so bad. I have not answered any girls. I don't know what their motive is. You know, are they out there to get me, or they really like me because of me? Second one was Russia. They said not in America, but we talk a lot about like the Russian issues too, with like Gary Kasparov, Bill Brother. They said not in America, but outside of America, they will follow you and they could try to poison you. They said Iran, they don't play with girls or poisons. They will come and shoot you. North Korea, they said they will try to hack you. Turkey, they will try to kidnap you. So all these threats were happening, right? And I had so many other conversations with FBI, and they were just giving me so many different like threats that I've been receiving from many different ways. But if ever something happened to me, I wanted to just give something to the world. This book, why I did it. Literally, this is like why I did it, why I sacrificed my family, which people calls me crazy. They said, dude, shut up. You have not seen your family for 11 years. Just shut your mouth and just, so they'll be okay, you know? Or just make 30-40 million more dollars and live the best life, or just play basketball, play another 5-6 years. You're still young, you're 29, 30 years old. This book talks about why I did it, why I sacrificed my family, my career, tens of millions of dollars, and give everything I had.
Regrets?
No regrets. The only thing that I just wish I played a little longer, because when I changed my last name to Freedom, I became a citizen. I changed my last name to Freedom. I wanted to make that word part of me, carried everywhere I go. So I was putting that word behind my jersey, in every arena I go to. I remember all the kids were chanting freedom. You know, in America, you can take your freedom for granted, like my teammates. I remember when we had this conversation with my teammates, they were destroying America. They're like, oh my God, America is terrible and horrible. I remember I walk in the locker room, I'm like, guys, listen, our season is about to be over. And whenever our season over, let's go to like some of the countries out there like Iran, China, Russia, Turkey, North Korea. And you guys will see like the real dictatorships. Like they have no idea. So that's why I wish I played a little longer. So I want, because I wanted all the kids, all the young generation out there to learn about the true meaning of freedom.
What would you do if some team invited you to play again?
I'm still healthy. I'm still 33 years old, young. I can still, get a double, I believe, and then now like the league is getting softer and softer every day, man. All the big men just wanted to pick and pop and shoot the ball. No one wants to do the dirty work. No one care about rebounds or whatever, back to basket plays. But I will definitely discuss with my people. But what I care about is just not the money, not the fame, or not anything to inspire the next generation. So if playing basketball is the reason that I can inspire the next generation, sure, I'll play. But if not, then the NBA hurt me so much with their hypocrisy. I don't even ever want to watch an NBA game.
Your family? Do you think you'll see them again?
When I got my green card, I was doing this big show, and this lady said, you don't have to wait 5 years. If you're married with an American woman, it's only 3 years. And I'm like, oh, I didn't know that. The next day, I got so much DM from all over the country.
I bet you did.
All over the country, right? Obviously, I waited. But so many Americans now invited me to their home for Christmas, for Thanksgiving, for Shabbat dinners. I remember I used to, wake up every morning and I used to pray to God. And I was like, God, please let me see my family one more time. But whenever I go around and Americans treating me like one of their family members, when they treat me like I'm their son, right? They invite me to like Shabbat dinners, Thanksgiving dinners. To them it's I'm just another guest, but to me, it's another family. I realize that God has given me a huge family, and it's America. Am I ever going to get to see my family ever again? I have no idea. My mom is getting old. My dad is getting old. I don't even know what their face look like. My brother sends me picture of them sometimes. But I have no idea what they even look like now. But I know that deep down, they're proud. They cannot say that they're proud because that is an act of terrorism to support me. But I know deep down that they are proud. They've been through a lot. They got fired, they're thrown in jails. My mom got spit on her face when she goes to the supermarket. My dad got kicked out of a mosque recently, but I know deep down that they are proud of their son.
And I don't know you well enough to be proud of you, but I admire you. In the same way, when I think about the guys who signed the Declaration of Independence and how many of them had so much to lose. They were the 1% once upon a time. They risked everything, and many of them lost everything. And so the ball's on you to do this. Appreciate it. And I guess the final thought is, all of the things that you're trying to impact are enormous. Mm-hmm. All of the ways you've attempted to do that are tiny. Mm-hmm. A dinner, a phrase, a shoe. Micro, macro, right? Big, little.
Yeah. Well, without sacrifice, there is no freedom. And I hope that I can pass this message or torch to a next generation, because if no America, China is next, and I don't want to see a world that is being run by the Chinese dictatorship. We would not want to be living in it.
I'm serious about those shoes. I'll buy a pair.
Of course.
The book is called "In the Name of Freedom." This is the galley. The actual copy is available in stores right now. And for the record,
oh no,
this is not the actual copy. And Ennis Freedom succumbed to an old trick that I did when I wrote a book. You get the cover done first
by FedEx,
right, and then the book's not ready, so you need to go out and show people the book. So I picked this up and I started looking through it, and I'm like, man, this guy is so much to say. Well, this is Jordan Peterson's
Oh,
book
no.
with his cover on it. It's just a prop.
Jordan Peterson, don't hate me, please.
Jordan Peterson. You know what, Jordan? I'm going to conclude with 2 messages. The first is to Jordan Peterson. Call me. You got to come on this podcast at some point and buy Endless Freedom's book. It's great. And my guess is if you ask him nice, he'll send you this one since it's actually your book too. And secondly, with great respect, LeBron, Stephen,
Yeah.
he's doing a hard thing. No pressure. But, you know,